Hello friends, welcome to another episode of the Sarah Staples podcast. So today I'm going to talk all about progressive overload, and this is the queen of building muscle. If you're not doing this, you're probably not building muscle. So listen up. So a big mistake I see in the gym, like all the time, I used to do it years ago, which is why I'm so passionate about it right now, because it's been a game changer. The biggest mistake I see is, especially women, not implementing progressive overload into their training. Okay? So this means that you're doing random workouts, you're going into the gym, you're just doing whatever, you're not documenting your training, you are doing 10 plus movements in your workouts. You're not training with intention. You're just going in and just doing it. You're just doing it to sweat, doing it to burn calories, doing it to move. You're picking up weights, but you're not actually, doing more over time. You're just picking up a weight that feels like somewhat heavy. And this might make you feel good. Exercise is going to give you endorphins. It's going to make you feel good. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't do this, but if you want to build muscle, if you want to create a physique, if you want to get stronger, if you want to actually train and feel like an athlete, then you'll want to be progressive overloading. And if your goal is to get stronger, gain muscle, and you're already going to the gym, you might as well do it the right way, So this is very, very important when it comes to your training. And if you're not doing progressive overload already, if you don't know the meaning of it, I urge you to start implementing it into your training, okay? Because a lot of women don't do this, and then they wonder, why am I not gaining muscle? I'm doing so much exercise, I'm not seeing change in my body, I'm not getting stronger in the gym, I'm not challenging myself, I'm not, seeing the change for the time I'm putting in. And this is also the difference between exercising and training. Someone who exercises doesn't implement progressive overload. They're just doing it just to feel good, just to sweat, just to move, but not to actually training with intention. So, what is progressive overload? In simple terms, this is basically doing more as you get stronger. So doing more over time, okay? So for example, say right now, you go to the gym today, you can squat 100 pounds by 5 reps. And this is the most you can do with good form, with pushing yourself without failing. Then next week, you go to the gym and you do 100 pounds by 6 reps. Or you do 105 pounds by 5 reps. So you see, as you get stronger, you're doing more. As your body is, growing muscle, you are giving it more of a challenge every time. So, how can you implement progressive overload? Okay, well, the most common one is increasing weight. But, a lot of people think this is the only way, but it's actually not. There's a lot of ways you can implement progressive overload without increasing weight. So if you're someone at home who's limited on weight, if you're someone who just doesn't like to increase the weight, that's fine. If you're someone who, can't increase the weight for medical reasons, then that's fine. You can still progressive overload. Okay, so I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can do this. So number 1, obviously, increase the weight. And before I go on, like, I mean increasing the weight, like small increments over time. This doesn't mean like you go in and you do like 100-pound squat and then the following week you do 150 pounds. That's a big jump, and that's where you're going to get injured. That's where you're going to end up like kind of burning yourself out and hating the process because you're probably going to fail. So small increments over time as you get stronger, as your form gets better. The next way to progressive overload in your training is increasing the reps. Okay, so like maybe you can do 4 chin-ups right now. Next week, you try to do 5 chin-ups. The week after, you try to do 6. Or the month after, you try to do 6. Because it's going to be impossible to increase weight and reps every single week. Because then we'd all be lifting 1,000,000 pounds, which would be amazing, but not possible. So increase weight, increase reps. Another way, the third way, is to improve your form, okay? Because that means you're getting stronger, you're getting better, you're, increasing your strength and your form over time. So that's number 3. Number 4 is to slow down the tempo. And this, I think, is the most underrated one, because you can take any exercise with a lightweight, a lightweight for your version, because it's different for everyone, and you can slow down the tempo and make it way harder. So like, for example, a split squat. So, as you come down in the movement, instead of coming straight down and straight up, count 4 seconds as you come down. You're slowing down the tempo, you're increasing the tension in your muscle, and you are making the movement harder, but you're using the same weight and same reps. Another way to slow down the tempo, which is so fucking hard, is slow eccentric chin-ups. If you've done these, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like they just don't get easier. Even if you're like, still pretty good at chin-ups, add a slow eccentric in it and it's hard as fuck. So that's another way. Slow down the tempo. Number 5 is feeling less tired. So say you go into the gym today, you do day 1 of your program. Next week, you go into the gym, same day, you do day 1 of your program again, exact same workout, exact same weight, but you leave the gym feeling less tired, you feel like that felt easier than last week. You did the same reps, same weight, same form, but the weight just moved easier. It just like, you just like come out of the gym and you're just like, I'm not as tired as last week. That is also progressive overload, because it means you're getting stronger. Okay? So noticing these things, and knowing the meaning of this can help you to just enjoy this process a lot more. Not only that, but it's what's going to get you progress. It's what's going to get you building muscle, feeling stronger, feeling better, The 6th way, the final one I'm going to give you today, is adding a deficit, okay? So it's like increasing the range of motion. So a good example is, let's take split squat again. So a normal version of split squat is the front foot is on the ground and the back foot, okay? If you want to make this a deficit, you will raise the front foot. So you'll put maybe a step under the front foot, which means the back knee is going to get deeper than normal, okay? So you're increasing that range of motion, creating a deficit, which is going to make the movement harder, okay? So you're doing the same weight, same reps, same form, but more range of motion. And I love deficits. Like, you can take a basic movement, make it a deficit, and make it way harder. Same with tempo. Take a basic movement, make it way harder. There's always ways to make the basic movements harder with these little switches, okay? Okay, so that's 6 ways. There is more ways, but I'm just going to leave you with those 6 ways today. Okay, number 3, part 3 of progressive overload that you will want to know is documenting your lifts. Okay, so like I see a lot of people going into the gym, doing whatever, just like picking a machine they see or seeing what someone else is doing, or going on Instagram and like picking a workout their favorite influencer is doing, and expecting to get the same results as them, which is not gonna happen. Different bodies, different programs, different needs, different genetics, different nutrition, different recovery, and so on. So if you want to implement progressive overload, you need to be documenting your lifts, because if you're just doing whatever, how can you know what you did last week? How can you know what you did 2 weeks ago? How can you keep track of all this? Okay, so if you are not documenting your lifts already, I urge you to do this. This has been a game changer for my clients, and don't think you're going to remember it all, because you won't. You can write it down. If you're a pen to paper person, write it down in a book. Keep that book, bring it with you to the gym every time. Or you can, what I do with my one-on-one clients, with my elite coaching members, is we share a Google Doc. Okay, so I've created an Excel spreadsheet. It has like 7 parts to it: the date, the day, the week, the weight, the set, the reps, and then a little section for notes, which is optional for them to fill out. So in the notes, they might put like, this was hard, or failed last rep, or this was easy, and this way I know also because I'll be looking at their form, but then I know how they were feeling when they were doing this lift. I know, how much to increase the weight, how much to decrease it, how much to increase the reps, keep the weight the same. So this, if you're doing it yourself, you'll know the next week when you go back to look at your notes, you can be like, okay, I did this last week. It was very hard. So this week, I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to keep the weight and the reps the same. And I'm just going to focus on form. And I'm just going to focus on, maybe making the lift a little easier. Or, you look back at your notes from last week and you're like, okay, last week I did squats and I did like 200 pounds. It felt easy. So I see it in my notes. This week I'm going to start with 205 pounds, 210 pounds, depending on how easy it was. Okay? So, writing these small little notes in your lifting logs will help you to know what to do the following week. How much to increase, how much to decrease. And this way, you're not guessing. You have the data. You can see exactly what's going up, what's going down, what needs to stay the same. And not only that, but like when you're having a low day, when you're like, don't feel like I'm progressing, I don't feel like I am going anywhere with this, like I'm putting all this work in and I'm not seeing any change, you can look back at your logbook and you can say, actually, 3 months ago, I couldn't deadlift this weight, and now I'm doing it for reps, So this can also just make your journey way more enjoyable. It help you to celebrate yourself more, help you to appreciate your body, help you to stay more consistent, because if you're doing all this work, you're not seeing change, you're obviously not going to want to keep doing it. So having this Bible to look back on can help you to stay more consistent. And it's a habit. Yeah, you need to build it. You need to build the habit. You need to remember to do it. But do it in between your rest sets. When you're resting, write it down. Write it on your phone, in your Excel spreadsheet, on your notebook. So it's done. Don't wait till the end of the workout to do it, because you'll definitely forget. All the numbers, all the weight, blah, blah, blah. Write down in between your rest sets and write how it felt. So document your lifts. Start now if you're not already doing it. So part 4 is follow a structured program. So if you want to implement progressive overload, you need to be following a structured program. And that means each day has intention. So for example, I love doing 4 days. 4 days a week, 2 upper, 2 lower. That's what makes me feel my best. I feel most energized, my cravings are under control, I recover better, my body feels good, my energy feels good, my sleep feels good. That's what works for me. So each week I'll do 4 days. Day 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll repeat these 4 workouts for at least 4 weeks. And I'll do like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, usually, unless I need to switch my rest days around or my schedule changes. But that's usually what I'll do, okay? So 4 days a week, and I'll repeat them for 4 weeks. This way, I can really track if I'm getting stronger, because I'll do the same movements each week. And if you're doing random workouts, if you're not doing this, if you're just doing whatever, if you're just doing random, how can you truly see if you're getting stronger? If you're doing more? Because if you do like squat, deadlift, hip thrust, and then like 5 different weird exercises like jumping around, and then like not taking rest in between, and then the following Monday you do a completely different one. How can you truly see if you're progressing? How can you truly lift more weight in that movement? Give yourself a chance to actually get strong. Some people will do like 6 weeks. That's fine. As long as you are repeating the same workouts for a minimum 4 weeks. And your program is structured. It's not like you just do whatever. Like you usually with my clients, what works really well for most of them is like we'll have heavy days Monday, Tuesday. So like we'll go hard in the basic lifts. Could be squat on day 1, followed by some other movements. Could be bench on day 2, followed by some other movements. And day 3 and day 4, if they are on a 4-day program, then we will go maybe higher reps, lower weight, to give their body a little more chance to recover, give their mind a chance to recover. Because if you're going, like lifting really, really heavy all the time, it's gonna like burn you out mentally and physically. So there needs to be balance, there needs to be structure, intention for the whole week. It's not just about one workout, it's like structured intention for the whole week. Okay. Part 5, final part. This is important. So it's important to respect where your body is at. So for those of you who like love pushing yourself in the gym, love to go hard, it's important for you to know when to pull back, when to not go hard. It's impossible to be progressive overloading all the time. Like I said, if that was the case, we'd all be lifting 1,000 pounds. We'd all be doing 1,000,000 reps. But that's not the case. There always is going to be a point where you get stuck, where you will train on that, and then you'll get stronger over time, So you need to respect where your body's at. Like say you get to the gym, everything feels heavy as fuck and you're just exhausted and you didn't sleep well the last few nights. Maybe it's the week before your period when you're not feeling good, you're just feeling weak. This is an opportunity to be like, okay, I'm not going to push the weight this week. I'm not going to increase the weight. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I'm just going to focus on really strict form. And if you learn to do this, if you learn to work in harmony with what your body is telling you, you will gain better results throughout the whole time, over the long haul. Because if you're pushing through, not listening to your body, you're going to burn out. You're not going to feel as strong, you're not going to feel as happy. It's going to make you be inconsistent. But if you can listen to what your body's telling you, if you can pull back when you need to pull back, you'll be able to push when you're supposed to push. And you'll be stronger overall. And that's definitely a process. Like, it's something I work on really, really hard with my clients. A lot of them have got it now. Like, they're like, Sarah, I'm not feeling great this week, gonna have form week or form day. And that's fine. We'll take a deload, we'll respect where the body's at. And then the following week, they usually PR because they have respected where their body's at. So doing this, working in harmony where your body's at, is going to be a game changer for you. But in order to do that, you need to be like repeating the same workouts, progressive overloading, so you can track exactly where you're at, So that is progressive overload. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, please share if you haven't already. If you found this useful, share it on your social media, tag me at Sarah Staples Fit. Let your friends know, because they need to know if they don't know about this already. And again, thank you for listening.